I like to dream. I think dreaming is fun. God talks to me a lot through my dreams. They're very vivid, they're very clear, there's a lot of symbolism, and when I have a God dream, I remember everything. And the more that I talk about it with him, the more that I remember and the more that he speaks to me. And dreaming with God is so much fun. It's so freeing. It's so liberating. I just want to do it all the time. Awake, asleep, whatever. Like, I just want to do it all the time. Last night, God and I were having a conversation, and I asked him something. That's really vague, and I'm sorry, but I asked him about a dream that I was kind of having in the moment. Like, just something that I just felt this overwhelming desire and burning and passion for. And the next words out of my mouth, even though I was so excited on the inside, were, God, is this even possible? God, can I even dare to dream this? And he kind of just, in my mind's eye, like, he kind of just looked at me like, why would I even ask that? Because with him, all things are possible, and dreaming is something I was created to do, so why not dream it? And I wasn't dreaming anything crazy. It wasn't a fantasy. It was actually, it could very well be a reality. But because in my mind, in my natural mind, in my flesh, it seems so far-fetched, it seems so unattainable. You know, I automatically want to reel that dream back in and bring it down to size and say, let's dream something that I believe, that my natural man believes can happen. And God's question was, why do that? Why limit the creativity that I have given to you? Why limit the reach that I have extended to you? Why limit yourself when I haven't limited you at all? I was listening to this message by Bill Johnson recently. I think it was by Bill anyway. And he's talking about how God gives us everything because of the size of the assignment. And if the size of the assignment is big enough to need everything, then why would I try and shrink the size of the assignment? Because if I try and make the assignment smaller, then I'm going to make the blessing smaller. And you'd have to be crazy to want God's blessing to be smaller. So I stayed up for a couple more hours last night. I think I was up till about 2 a.m. and God and I were having this conversation, and I was getting so excited, and I was emailing a couple of my friends saying, hey, just partner and pray with me for this. I think I'm absolutely crazy, but maybe there's something to this, and this is my passion, this is what I want, so let's pray into this and see what happens. Well, then I wake up this morning, and I share the story with my roommate, who's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, this is amazing. And I'm still thinking I'm crazy, that I've completely lost my mind, and that I need to shrink my dream down to a size that I can manage. And then God brought me to his word, which is so amazing, because every time I open it, and it doesn't matter how many times I've read the verse or the chapter or whatever, he brings it to me in a brand new light. And so I actually have it with me this moment, and I'm going to read this verse. This verse is ridiculous. It's amazing. But the verse is Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. It's such a simple verse. And every time until today, I have read that verse and I have taken it for granted. Because yeah, it says, oh my gosh, look, God started, he created stuff, he began what we know as the universe and our world and blah blah blah, like, and it pretty much just stopped at that. Like, that's where creation started, great. But it didn't say in the beginning God created the stars, and it didn't say in the beginning God created the moon, and it didn't say in the beginning God created the plants. All of that followed. But in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. His dream started big. He didn't start with man and then build it around that. And he didn't start with water and build it around that. And he didn't start with the earth and build it around that. He started with the heavens and the earth, and then he filled it, and it was good, and he created the sun, and it was good, and he separated night from day, and he drew the lines where the waters were to stay, and he created land, and then the animals and the trees, and fish to fill the water, and birds to fill the sky, and on and on. But he started big. He started with such a vast, blank canvas. And when I think about creating the universe, like I don't even understand the universe. I don't. Light years, comets, black holes, sounds great. And for scientists and for astrologists and astronauts, more power to you. I think it is an amazing field to study. I just do not have the passion for it that you guys do. I'm so glad that you do. I'm so glad that you have such an adventuresome spirit that you don't just want to keep it on our own planet. You want to go out there and beyond. That's amazing. But I can't even comprehend having that vast of a canvas to paint. And yet, I am created to think and to dream that big. To not look at the canvas God has given me and say, oh my gosh, that it's too much blank space. I'm just going to deal with this little corner in the bottom because that I can manage. God wants to paint the whole thing. And he doesn't want me to do it by myself. He wants to do it with me. And if I partner with him, if we do it together, then I can paint the whole thing. But what God was telling me this morning was that, why limit yourself? Because if you limit yourself, you limit me. If you think that I can't move through you, if you think that I can't open that door or bring that person into your life or move that mountain, then of course it's not going to happen. Because I want to do it through you, and you're not going to let me. Because you, on your own, can't. But he can, and he wants to. And so yes, I still think my dream is crazy. I think my dream is absolutely ridiculous. But I shared my dream with some important people who will kind of have a decision in moving that dream forward. And that was terrifying. It really was. And these people are amazing. Completely trust these people. I would follow these people anywhere. And yet, it's a vulnerability. But I want to dream that big. I want to dream that big. I want to see that dream come into fruition. I want to see it become a reality. And then I want to dream bigger. And I think that, we talk about having faith, and we talk about moving forward, and we talk about taking baby steps only to take bigger steps. And then pretty soon we're fast walking, and then we're running, and then we're sprinting, and then we're soaring. And sometimes that sounds daunting. And running sounds like work. I'm not a runner. But you tell me I can dream, and I will dream big. And I want to dream big. I want to dream big because I serve a big God who wants to dream big with me. Who, even though I dream really big, or what I think is really big, he still dreams bigger. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the beginning, God set before him the largest blank canvas anybody could ever imagine, and even bigger than that. And then he filled it. And it hasn't been perfect, but it's been beautiful. And creation calls out to him, and his children call out to him, and everything speaks to his wonder and his glory. And when I dream, that's what I want. I want my dreams to speak to his wonder and his glory. And I want my dreams to say, this is how big my God is. This is how big my Father is. I can't limit my dreams and send that message at the same time. And I know that there are plenty of you out there who have really big dreams. And sometimes they're scary. Sometimes they are so scary. And you think, how in the world could I dream this, let alone Live this. Make this happen. Watch it come to life. Don't be afraid to dream. Because when you dream, God's going to start to open those doors. And He's going to start to show you that your dreams aren't foolish or selfish or pipe dreams. They're not fantasies. They're passions and desires that burn inside of you for a reason. And He gave them to you. I was watching this interview online today with Sherry Shepherd from The View, and then, oh goodness, what are their names? John and Holly Wagner, I believe, who pastor Oasis Church in LA. And one of the things Holly Wagner said was, do things scared. We're going to have dreams. We're going to have things that we want to do, and we're not always going to be able to eliminate the fear first. Sometimes you just got to do it. Sometimes you have to use that fear that the enemy is trying to use against you, against him. And you have to say, you know what? You can try and scare me out of doing this. But this fear, my worry, my anxiety is only going to propel me forward. And I think it's time we start living from that place where even if we're scared, even if we think that we can't, that we recognize that we are given a desire and a passion for a reason. And God doesn't call the qualified. I mean, He does, but He wants your willingness more than anything. So if you have the call and you feel unqualified, go anyway. Dream anyway. Do it anyway. And God's going to show you just how qualified you are because you're going to trust Him. So dream big. Allow God to set before you the largest canvas you have ever seen and paint it with Him. Have fun. A relationship with God and dreaming, it's not supposed to be scary and impossible and discouraging. It's supposed to be fun and exciting, and it's supposed to give you butterflies because you think, what if I'm not crazy? And with this particular dream that I'm having, that's the attitude that I have with it right now. What if I'm not crazy? What if even this crazy idea happens? And I don't want to come to the end of this project and say, look at what I did. I want to come to the end of this project and say, look at who I trusted. Look at what He did. I thought I was a complete lunatic. And all I had before me were these lists of things that seemed to stack against this dream. And at the very end of that list, all it says is, but God. That's where I want to live my life in. But God. Even after everything else, even after the list of impossibles, I want to say, but God. We believe in a really big God who does really big things every day. So dream big. Live big. Do things scared. And with everything, remember, but God. Hope you guys have a great day. Share your dreams with somebody. Somebody you trust. Share them with me if you'd rather share them with a total stranger. I want to encourage you. I want to sow into you. I want to impart to you things that God is revealing to me. That's why I share these videos. Because personally, I don't really like being on camera. But God's like, do it. So here I am doing it. I'm doing things scared because this is really uncomfortable for me. But do it. Do it. It's freeing. And it's fun. So dream big. Get out there. Change the world. Because the world needs big dreamers like you.